Now somebody's, when bros snitch on you, do they get stitches? We're gonna find out. I am Mr. Mafuchi, that is Jay. We're gonna set the scene real quickly. There was a birthday party for Jay's son, and then I happen to talk to Jay's wife, and we're not gonna say anything more because there lies something that happened. But it always helps the channel if you like and subscribe. So hey, do one or the other, we like it all. So without further ado, here we go. This is my side of it, what happened. So like I mentioned, Jay's son, who turned out to be my godson, let's remember that somebody's, he had a birthday party. I was invited along with my family. Well, only myself and my oldest were able to go. So we did. We showed up. I saw Jay for what seemed to be the very first time in a long time, and it was cool. We sat down, we chit-chatted, and then Jay's wife came in, which I'll just call Mrs. J. So I talked to Mrs. J, and she's always pleasant to talk to. And as we exchanged pleasantries and had a conversation, it came up that Mrs. J said, hey, I think she directed this question to actually Jay, which is, you remember those topics for our channel that I mentioned that maybe it would be good to discuss and talk about. Well, somebodies, it turns out I never knew about this, okay? So Mrs. J told Jay, but Jay never told me that these were topics that could be on the queue to talk about. So from my end, I decided to do a little investigating and just ask further follow-up questions to Mrs. J, which is, hey, okay, do you know when this happened? Do you know what the topics were about? And it turns out it was so long ago that both of them have forgotten. Now, I'm not thinking anything else. We're all here, we're all adults, we're talking. I just am trying to get to the bottom of it because this was going on without me knowing, and Jay and I share the channel. I felt I would have at least liked to have known that there were topics floating around that Mrs. J suggested. That is how I see it. So, as this was going on, I guess the way I was going about it, Jay may have felt a little attacked because it was now me and Mrs. J asking Jay what was going on. So now here's the thing that I didn't know about. Now I'll preface by saying I didn't put much merit to it. Jay had told me later during the party that he had texted my wife letting her know what was going on between me and Mrs. J, apparently giving him the third degree about what's going on. I thought Jay was just making a joke, so that's why I didn't think nothing of it. And in fact, he even told me before my son and I left the party, hey, once again, I spoke to your wife. I told her, you know, this was kind of happening, but I guess doing me a favor not to put me on the couch, because all other episodes, I always talk about if my wife and I are at odds, I'm the one who sleeps on the couch. So, nothing to it. I get home. Well, first thing my wife asks, hey, how'd it go at the party? Because Jay texted me. Right away it hit me. Wow. He wasn't kidding. He actually texted my wife, which number one, I didn't even know he had her number. But okay, here's where it gets interesting and a little spicy. Because my wife asked me, okay, so I have these texts from Jay, and I'll just paraphrase because I don't remember. Something to the effect of, hey, your husband here is trying to start something with my wife. Here's where I had to do a double take because it seems my wife texted Jay back. What did he do? So, took Jay's side right away. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not innocent in the fact that every now and again I'll pull antics just because that's my personality. But overall, I always felt it's in good humor. But I just saw it differently because my wife automatically took Jay's side. Didn't even think twice about thinking that maybe I didn't do something wrong. So, nonetheless, that's where the conversation went. I explained to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, okay, then yeah." I don't see. It doesn't seem like it was anything like Jay was describing. But again, what I think I've noticed about this encounter, because Jay and I have had many encounters in the past with birthdays, and he's invited me and my family, and it's always been nice. Hell, I was his best man. But what I think I noticed this time around is that with this situation and the texting with my wife, that she's not on my side. I am a man. I am a husband without a village, which is my wife. But it turns out that when Jay is with his family, it seems that he is Wakanda forever, okay? He is the numero uno. And I always felt I acted appropriately, especially with Mrs. J, because she's just lovely inside and out to talk to. But it seems that I found a different side to Jay, which, okay, if that's how it needs to be, I will rewatch both the Wakandas, and then I'll know how to be around him. So, on my end, that is how I see what happened at the party. So, now we will go to Jay and get to his side, because there's always somebody's. As they say, there's always three sides to a story. One side, my side, the other side, Jay's side, and then we'll see where the truth lies in the middle.
Alright, so this is what happened. So, Mafuchi is correct. He spoke to my wife, and my wife was not aware that I didn't tell him about, I think she sent me 3 things, and we recorded 1 thing. So I was like, we did record 1 thing. I said, remember that video, Mafuchi, about, I forgot what it was. It was a TED Talk, though. It was about a TED Talk. Like, we did do that recording. She's like, okay. And you're like, yes, you said you do remember that. So there you go. Since you don't remember anything. But we did do that video. The other 2, I didn't send it to Mafuchi. I don't think I mentioned it to him. I might have said my wife sent me something. And I was just thinking to myself when I saw the video, I was like, how can we talk about it? So then Mafuchi said, you know what? You can just email it to our email. And she was like, I didn't know you guys had an email. And I didn't know that was my responsibility to tell her we had an email, so she can send her ideas there. So now Mafuchi said, okay, just bypass Jay, just send it to the email, so therefore we don't have this problem. I was like, all right, whatever. Right, so I did feel attacked. I was like, okay, we did at least 1 topic that you wanted to do, or that you suggested to me. I was like, okay, cool. But when it comes to me texting Mafuchi's wife, I didn't text her. Let's get that part straight. I messaged her over Facebook in the Messenger part of the app. So it wasn't a text, just Messenger. And I did tell Mafuchi, I'm gonna speak to your wife. But what was funny was when I messaged his wife, she thought it was something like extremely bad at first. So I did have to tell her it wasn't nothing like, or we're not gonna be friends, or it's messing up our relationship or my wife's relationship with me. It wasn't nothing like that. So yeah, so I let her know that, everything's good. It's like he was just trying to go back and forth with my wife, and I felt attacked pretty much, right? So after that, me and her, we kept going back and forth a little bit. I said, please don't put him on the couch, right? So what she texted me back was, or the message back to me was, a tent outside. So apparently she was gonna put him outside. I knew she was joking, but I was like, hey, your wife says she's gonna put you outside, not on the couch. So just FYI when you get home, when you speak to her. So I did give him a heads up, so he's not blindsided that I spoke to his wife. So that was my part of the story. So I don't think I was wrong in the matter of fact. I'm like, you spoke to my wife, I spoke to your wife. We're just sharing stories here, and nothing I said was incorrect or a lie. So there you go. Mafuchi.
All right, somebody. So now you have both sides of the story. Where do you feel the truth lies? Now, the only thing I will add on to that is, No, I didn't end up sleeping on the couch or the tent. The only thing that I feel is I didn't know me talking to Mrs. J would be an issue. Maybe this is a one-off. Hopefully it is. But now here's the thing. I may have to get parameters set for me because I will not know what to talk about, what to ask, let alone should I even talk anymore. That's where it gets me going. I didn't know this was something that was worthy of quote-unquote being snitched on. So that is the key element here, somebody's snitching. Was this a scenario where snitching should have happened? For Jay, it was, and everyone's entitled to their opinion and follow through, so be it. That is the sides that we both have. Somebody's. You can let us know in the comments what you think. Now, Jay, is there anything else you want to add to this?
Yes, how is it snitching if I told you what I was going to do and then I followed through with it? It's not snitching, it's just a conversation. Just a heads up, like, hey, Mrs. Mafuchi, what's going on with your husband? And trying to start messing with me and my wife, right? So I was like, hey, you know what? I need you to know about your husband. I didn't say put you in check or anything. I said, this is something you should know. And whatever happened when you got home, my hands are clean.
I'll say this, Jay. I know we put out a short about Bridgerton and you wanting your wife to watch it. I'm glad she still won't watch it with you. That's all I'll say. Now, some buddies, if you liked the video, please leave a like, leave a subscribe. It always helps. But this was the ongoing situation. Let us know what you think. I would love to know what you think. I'm sure Jay does too. So let us know.
So what really happened when you got home? What really happened when you got home?
It's exactly how I explained it, Jay. I got home. My wife asked me, hey, how'd the party go? Because I got a message from Jay as to something that was going down. I'm like, wow, he actually messaged my wife. So, and that's what I felt the whole time, Jay. I thought you were just making a joke. But no, you actually did it. And I had to explain it. And she did say, oh, well, yeah, that's not as bad as it sounded. So, hey, it is what it is now.
Well, yeah. No, I did explain it to her. I said it's not as bad as it was. I can read you exactly what I told her. So let me go bring that up.
Yeah, you know, your husband is talking to my wife, so I just need to let you know.
I said, you may need to have a talk with your husband. I think he was trying to start stuff between me and my wife. I put laugh out loud. But LOL, right? LOL. He can fill you in on it when he gets home, if he tells you the truth.
And see, right. You left it ambiguous. It could have been as major as, hey, I just went streaking out of the blue because I lost my mind. Or shoot, you know, I may have made out with someone at the party. I mean, that's what could have happened. You left it so open-ended, Jay. That is the issue here. You didn't explain at all. So I had to explain. And that's why once I explained it, that's when my wife said, oh, yeah, that's not as bad as it sounded. But Jay left it like anything could have happened. Like, wow, okay. Like, number one, Jay, I was just trying to get to the bottom of it. You didn't tell me your wife was going through these things with topics. That's all I was asking. I was following through. I was trying to get to the bottom of it because I needed to know the truth because I can handle the truth. I even said that at the party. So there you go.
Okay.
Jeez. Mr. Wakanda over there.
And then she said, OMG, I don't even know what to say, Jay.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm so embarrassed and sorry. And sorry he made you both upset and uncomfortable. I'll talk to him when he gets home. Then I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, that's the thing. Did you talk to your wife about this and did she feel the same way? Because I didn't feel she did, but did you actually have a conversation with her? Did I actually do something wrong?
My wife and I were fine. So you don't have to worry about that.
That's not what I asked.
Okay,
I asked if she thought I did something wrong. That's what I'm asking, Jay. Or
I
did you
don't
not
think so.
even address that?
Probably didn't address that. I was worried about the party stuff.
Well, here we go, Jay. You
Okay.
invited me to your daughter's birthday, and now if I end up going, what am I supposed to do now? If you haven't addressed it, I'm not going to address it with her. It's up to you. But if you don't address it, then I don't know where I stand. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if I should talk to her. So,
She's fine.
come on,
She's
Jay.
fine.
Look
She's
at the
fine. Trust
position
me.
you put me in. That's what you did.
Right. It wasn't anything to make us upset. He was just trying to blame me for telling him some video ideas my wife sent to me. And I said, your son can confirm the conversation.
If I'm understanding correctly, Jay, it wasn't anything major, but it was enough to elicit a message to my wife, essentially snitching on something that wasn't major because she wasn't there. So, oh man,
Hey.
all right.
That doesn't help when you then you what? You try to You try to, I don't say bully me, but try to question my basketball skills and
I didn't bully you.
challenge
I
me to
flat out
lose.
challenged you. I did not bully.
And
I
then-
asked.
and-
I
and
was
then what happened?
persistent. And then you won both
then-
rounds soundly. So be it.
No,
But
no,
at
no,
least
no,
I
no,
got
no,
you
no,
on
no,
the
no,
court.
No.
you got your ass whooped. You got your ass whooped.
2 times.
You call it
Let's
what you
put that out
want.
there. You got your ass.
You won soundly. I say it like men, okay? I'm not a bragger like you. Again, I didn't know you were this Wakanda person when your family is there, okay? So be it. If I have to figure out how to kiss the ring now when it comes to these situations, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to do it, but I'll try to figure something out. I guess I'll have to just maybe go on the down low and talk to your wife and say, okay, how do I address him now? What do I do in this situation? So that's where it lies, Jay. That's where it's going. So that's what you did with this message. And yes, it's snitching because she wasn't there and you outed me for something that really wasn't major. So that's why I'm calling it snitching. And we'll see if you still
not
get stitches.
snitching.
That's going to be on the comment
What?
section. I still want to know what your wife thought about it because I still don't have her side. So without her side, that's what matters here. I know my wife's side, I just shared it. We just don't know your wife's side because you don't want to address it. So you just left it ambiguous over there too, Jay. You're killing me, bro. You're just killing me here.
She wasn't bothered by it. She just wanted to know that I sent you the videos or the links or brought it up. I was like, probably didn't. I know I sent one. I think I sent you one over Messenger one day. He's like, who is this?
And
It didn't bother her,
then
it
I
bothered
sent the
you.
videos.
No, I did one on Messenger. And then I couldn't find you again for whatever reason. But I think I texted to you.
Funny, you couldn't find
Yeah,
me, but you
texted
found
you.
my wife. Lovely.
I can't.
Wow.
I'm hurt.
Oh, I am sure you are. Wow, you're like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. I'm sorry, I have to treat you like that now. Next time I'll bring my bowl of rose petals for you too. But I'm not washing your penis. I'll tell you that right now. So there you go. That's where I draw the line. Wow, Jay. Prince Hakeem over there.